everyone, so I'm back with another reading vlog. This time I'm going to be reading Throne of Glass. This is going to be the second book I'm reading in the Throne of Glass series, so I'm very excited to get into this. I'm very excited because this is going to continue on from where it left off in Assassin's Blade, and we know how that book made me feel. So is this one going to make me cry as well? Because I don't want to. But I think it's going to be quite interesting. So I'm on page 25, and so far I'm really liking it. So she has basically started off in the salt mines, obviously where it left off in Assassin's Blade, and Selena is now kind of like working there. They're not treating her very well, I don't think. And it's rough. It is rough for her, and I feel for her because that is a lot, and she's kind of just working her sentence now. So I really don't know how she's gonna get out of this one. She's either got to escape or someone's gonna have to like let her out, because how else is she gonna get out of this? There's just too much. So it is quite interesting. Let's see. I've been approached by this Prince Dorian and his captain of the guard. So yeah, they've obviously propositioned her and said that they will either reduce her sentence or void her sentence or whatever if she goes with them and completes this competition, sort of like trial competition thing that the king's doing, in order to get a new, basically like a new guard for the king or something like that. They have a name for it, but I can't remember. So that I feel like is going to be really, really fun. I'm quite excited to see what the tasks are going to be. If they're going to be like quite Hunger Games vibes, maybe, because there's other people she's competing against. So possibly it might be brutal as well, because it sounds like the other people are going to be like other assassins and thieves and sort of that sort of thing. So it's going to be full of action, I think. I'm going to read a little more. So up to 92, now page 92, and that's chapter 13. She's had to basically go under an alias called like Lillian. So with that, I do like that sort of. But at the same time, what if she messes up when like someone says Lillian to her and she forgets that's her name? Like how awkward that would be if like she wasn't responding and they were like Lillian. Could you? That's like one thing I think about. I'm like, what if they completely forget? Because obviously she doesn't normally get called that. But she's probably used to it though, because obviously she's an assassin, so she's probably got loads of different cover names that she's used before. And I don't know how I feel about her and this captain of the guard. I feel like they've got some kind of connection, but I can't figure out if it's going to be romantic or friendly or what. I don't know, because I also feel like she's got a connection with the prince. So now I'm like, what's going to go on here? Really don't know. But then the prince is really flirty as well with like loads of people. So is he one that you can kind of trust on a romantic sense, because he's very flirty with everyone? I don't know. This captain of the guard seems a bit like maybe he's liking her. I don't know. We don't know much about him though. It's so difficult to say right now. I'm gonna read a little more. Oh, and she's also training, so that's fun. I have read a fair amount now because I'm now on page 156. So look at that. I I'm really liking this. So she's obviously made friends with this princess girl as well. I can't remember her name. It will come back to me at some point. And I don't know what their like friendship's gonna be like. Are they actually gonna be friends, or is she gonna like be a bit funny? I really don't know who to trust. I don't think I trust any of them right now, so it's quite hard. And she's also just done the first task. Oh my gosh, guys, the first task was so cool. She obviously had to like go up the like mountainside or whatever it was and try and receive the flag, but they could only use one item to be able to get up there. So she used like the tar, like sticky tar, so she can climb up the wall using that, which I thought was really clever actually, because everyone else was like using ropes and things like that. So I thought that was quite an impressive option that she chose there. But obviously she is an assassin, so she thinks logically. She must have done this before. So and she, oh my gosh, she just saved the Nox guy. Okay, here I'm not sure how I feel, because I don't know if he's gonna end up stabbing her in the back or not. I don't know yet. I'm a bit 50-50 on him. He seems really nice though, so maybe he's just gonna be a really nice guy, side character. And there's a guy called Kane who's one of the other like competitors, and he reminds me of like Jack Barlow from Fourth Wing, because he just seems so full of himself, and he's like, I'm the best, laughs at everyone else. And I just think he doesn't care about anyone else, so he will do whatever it takes to win, I think. So I feel like he's going to be the biggest sort of competition that she has in this, and I feel like they're going to be head to head at some point, so it'll be quite interesting. Depends what these tasks are. Like obviously this first one's quite like, it's like kind of like a mountain cliff side that they've had to scale, so the next one could be, I don't even know what the next one could be. A lot of like these sort of like books do like mazes. Maybe they'll get stuck in a maze or something, and find their way out. Maybe I'm trying to think of like things they could do to do these tasks. I really don't know. But obviously whoever fails each task basically gets like disqualified from the competition, so I really want her to win. I hope she does. Also, there's some like murders going on. What's going on? Like someone got like torn to shreds as well, one of the competitors. So is that someone doing that or what? Like maybe it's, I don't know. I was gonna say maybe it's Kane, but then I was like, is that too obvious if it's him because he's trying to win? I'm not sure on that either. There's a lot I'm unsure about right now, so I'm gonna keep reading and see if I can predict anything. I don't know. I feel like the Nox guy is gonna get quite far with her help in these tasks, and then he's gonna get like eliminated, and then I hope she wins, because obviously. So I'm also waiting for the day that she's going to see Arabin again. That man, he better watch his back. I know he's a character, but... Guys, another person's been found murdered. What? Brutally mauled and dismembered. Could it be like a creature? Are there creatures in this? Or is it just someone being crazy? I really don't know. Okay, keep reading. So I thought I would make a video because I have just finished Throne of Glass on a reading sprint, and I can say I did enjoy this book. I definitely didn't see a lot of it being in this, like the whole storyline with the like creatures and the otherworld sort of beings coming in. That was totally unexpected, I feel. I know it's fantasy, like I know it's a fantasy series, but to me, I just assumed it was all gonna be like just assassins and whatnot. I did not expect there to be like creatures and, you know, like spirits and stuff. Like that was just not what I was expecting going into this, but I'm not complaining because I really enjoyed it, and I feel like it had such a good plot within this book. And I'm very glad I read it second as well, because there are some spoilers in this that were from Assassin's Blade. So I'm really happy that I read Assassin's Blade first and then read this. So going into this, I felt like I struggled to get through the kind of first bit. Well, not struggled to get through, but I feel like it took me a bit of time because I was still getting used to it and still trying to kind of push myself to get into the series, basically, because sometimes it takes me a while to get into something. And then when I got kind of to the halfway point, it all started to like get really, really, really interesting, and I started getting hooked. So from here onwards, I just wanted to keep reading. There were times where I was pausing a little bit because I was busy, but you know, I felt like that whole thing with the creature in the castle and all like the killings that were happening, all the murders to the different champions, I thought that was so interesting, because obviously it was kind of like we wasn't sure what was going on, who was doing it either. So for me, I really liked that. I feel like it was a bit of like a murder mystery within it, and I just wanted to find out who was doing it. And when I found out who was doing it, Kane, the guy that Selena was competing against, I felt like I was kind of expecting it, but at the same time I wasn't. Like, I feel like it was so obvious that it was kind of not. I feel like my brain thought, oh, it probably is him because, you know, he's going against her. And then I thought, well, that's a bit too obvious. It's got to be someone else. So then my brain started being like, oh, it must be this person. It must be that person. But no, I was wrong. So that was interesting. And yeah, there was just a lot going on within this book. I feel like it had a really nice storyline and plot, so it never once, like, I don't think it bored me, like, once, really. I feel like there was always something to read about, which was nice. And now Selena has become the King's Champion, I really do wonder what she's gonna do now for her missions. And I feel like he's gonna be really harsh because he does not like her, she does not like him. And it's just gonna be a nightmare, to be honest. And she's got to basically be his champion for 4 years now until she can be free. And he is just gonna be brutal with her. And one of the missions that I feel like he's gonna send her on is definitely got to be something to do with Arabin, who was Selena's obviously previous like master assassin guy. I definitely feel like he's going to be involved at some point to do with this. So that's going to be quite interesting to find out what he's going to do and like send her to do. It was a bit of a shame that her and Dorian couldn't have a romantic connection really, because she became the champion, because she's obviously shut it all down. She said, no, like, we can't do this because you're the king's son, like, this can't happen, I'm working for the king now and all this. And I'm like, fair enough, like, I totally understand it, but it is a bit of a shame because I do want her to be happy and I want her to find someone, But at the same time, she has a connection with him, but then she also has a connection with the captain of the guard. And now I don't know if this connection with the captain is romantic or if it's something else completely. I have no idea. But for some reason, he seems quite like protective over her. And I really don't know what it is. And it's bugging me. Like, I feel there's got to be some sort of connection there. And I don't know what it is. To me, I was like, what if he's like related to her or something? Or I don't know. There's something. And also now she's also got this like mark on her forehead. Like, obviously you don't see it all the time, but is it like some protection mark or something? Is that what it is? There's so many questions I have that is just crazy. This whole book's crazy. I also love how Sarah J Maas writes the fighting scenes as well in this. I feel like they are so detailed and just written so well, especially considering she started writing this series when she was 16. Like, that is crazy to me, and it's so detailed. So now I'm just really excited to get into Crown of Midnight, which will be my third read, and kind of see what this book is about, because there's just been so much going on within the first two. So now I'm like, where can this possibly lead? I feel like this one is gonna follow some of the missions that she's gonna get sent on, and yeah, go from there. Really, that's all I can predict from now, because I'm not too sure where it's gonna go. But craziness. Oh, also I wanted to comment that I did also really enjoy the like different tests that they had to do within the champion. I feel like they were all really interesting, and like obviously people were getting like eliminated, and then you had the threat of like this creature like killing a lot of the champions as well, so made it kind of happen a lot quicker as well. So it's definitely worth the read, and I understand everyone's hype about this series, because so far I'm really enjoying it, and I don't really seem to have any issues with any of it either. So very excited to read on.